Hello and welcome to episode 154, I hope, of the Health Oddity podcast. We've got a cracking return guest this week, and honestly, you're good. I can't wait. We're talking about something that's going to be happening in 2 weeks, an event that both me and James are going to be at.
Sorry, 5 weeks. Don't say 2 weeks. You give me.
It's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks. We're in podcast land, Gary.
Oh, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
This goes out.
Yeah.
You'll give away our secrets.
I'm so sorry. Oh dear.
This isn't live. This isn't live.
Yeah. We'll start again. No, we'll leave it at that. This win. This will let our lovely listeners into a little the secret of what goes on in podcast land.
Oh, this isn't the BBC.
Yeah. Anyway, after mentioning James isn't with us this week because he's on his jollies. So we have Mr. Paul Bassett with us. How are you doing?
I'm okay. As I mentioned in the earlier, before we started recording, my wife has gone to get 2 cats, 3-year-old and a kitten. I'm not sure what I think so far.
It doesn't sound like you're that enamored by it.
Yeah, maybe perhaps it's, I'm fairly dry as it is, so maybe people can't quite read the high level of enthusiasm that I have for this whole situation.
Well, I think you make a very good poker player, Paul.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Just
there you go.
Generally disgruntled.
So are you going to be getting Whiskers or Sheba or any one of the other ones?
I mean, it's going to be another thing I have to buy, isn't it?
Yeah.
At least I don't have to. At least I don't have the evening ritual of trying to work out well, maybe I will with cats. I mean, they're pretty picky. Like we're currently with the children. It's like, here you go. This is the thing that I normally give you, right? But rather than it being separated, like cheese, pasta, and tomatoes, I've combined them, into something where they're all mixed together, and they hate it, So maybe cats will be the same. I'll buy Sheba, or I'll buy. Well, I think the key is don't buy the most expensive brand straight away, because that's what they might get hooked on, and then everything you give them afterwards is basically like they just look at you like you're just like, what are you doing to me?
Yeah. Well, there you go then. You see. I learned that very quickly. So we just get Sid a load of crap from the butchers that is minced up. I don't even know what's in it, but it's all from an animal. It's all from animals, and he loves it. So there you go.
They're not picky, to be fair, dogs, are they?
Well, no, not say that. When he was younger, he used to eat everything because obviously he's growing, so he used to eat everything. Now he has.
That's the thing; they eat everything.
He stopped eating like loads of stuff. We'll put it in his bowl, and he'll kind of look at it and go, "What's this?"
You see, I'm not squeamish in any way, really, of things like blood and guts or like, stuff like that. But if my wife put on TV last night, flicking through the channels, Turner and Hooch, right? And for me, it's like a nightmare watching that film because all I can see is slobber.
Yeah.
And all I can think is what dogs do with their mouths, and a dog licking me. I mean, I can't watch any dog licking anyone without having to flinch and feel like I'm going to puke.
My brother sent me an article once, because like Sid will lick us on the hands and stuff like that, but people who let the dogs lick their faces and that sort of stuff. And he sent us an article, I think it was like from The Guardian or something like that. It was like, and it was basically like, what's in it? Here's why you shouldn't let your dog do that, and what's in a dog's saliva. It was just
what's not in this, probably a shorter list.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome.
How are you, Peter?
Welcome to the episode. I'm all right. I'm fine. I'm excited. I'm excited for 2 weeks' time from when this goes out. Because in 2 weeks' time from when this goes out, myself and James are going to be at the Disabled Strongman event. The UK's Disabled.
No, Britain's Disabled Strongman and Strongwoman.
Britain and UK are different, aren't they? And I can't remember. We'll talk about that in a second. So Britain's Disabled Strongest Man and Woman event, which is going to be in Chard. Yeah. And we have with us the man who set it all up. And honestly, he's looking good, considering the amount of work he's been doing in the last few weeks. We have Mr. Gary Clarke. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Yeah, very well, as we know. Thank you very much. Yeah, so Yeah. So in 2 weeks, the Disabled Strongman event and Strong Woman event is happening. How's the setup going, Gary? How's it all going?
Yeah, it's pretty much all there now. I've just been obviously phone calls still and making sure the equipment's presentable, but that's about it really. Everything else is in place.
Where do you get the equipment from? Is it like, because some of it must be adapted. Is there stuff that you've adapted yourself, or is it?
We have two wheelchairs with basically steel trays on the front, and they've been kind of modified. But you'll enjoy this. Pretty much all the kit stays at my house.
Well, it's not like a second floor flat, is it? Or something?
No, it's a bungalow. So I've got Atlas stones on the front lawn, and then I've got Atlas stones at the back lawn, and it's all basically in storage around the back. So
has anyone tried to nick the stones?
I've had somebody in town saying to me, "I'm surprised nobody's nicked them." I said, "Well, if they can lift them, they can have them."
Yeah,
because the ones on the
you'd have to have, like, Eddie Hall walking past or something and go like, "Oh, I'll just get myself one of them." Tom Stoltman.
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, the ones on the front lawn range between 120 and 150. So
yeah,
if they can pick them up and load them, they can have them.
Exactly.
Do people just think that you've badly laid out your garden with some kind of
No. I mean, it's a pretty small town, Chard, so people tend to know me, which is a good thing, I guess.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So did you make the Atlas stones yourself?
I have made stones, yes, but I mean the heavier ones, I've not got the bigger mold, so I've ordered them from my friend.
So you
Jason.
mold them, you don't chisel. I've got ideas that you've got like some kind of Michelangelo figure.
No,
chisel. No, bashing away at the granite.
I basically got the mold so I can make up to 100 kilo stones, and then and anything bigger and heavier than that, I go elsewhere for. I order them in, So I've got 2 more stones coming, obviously. Well, 130 and a 150.
So when you say you order them in, because I know whenever I haven't bought kettlebells for ages because I've got loads now, but whenever I've bought them in the past, the postman doesn't really enjoy it. I think one of them, I've got like a thing out the front, like one of those plastic garden container things under my flat. And I put it under there so I could have the bells in there for when I take them out.
Yeah.
And I had a 24 kilo delivered, and I wasn't in, so he just threw it on top of there, and it like split the top, so it gets filled with water now. And that was a 24 kilo. I mean, I've had like 36, 40, 48 delivered. And the postman, because I've got steps down to my flat, the postman's just like, can you come and get this? Because I can't lift it.
Yeah, they can't do it, can they? I mean, a lot of the strongman stuff obviously gets delivered on the pallet,
Yeah.
And when I get plates and stuff delivered from DBD or whatever, they still struggle, don't they? That's not coming along the path,
Honestly, I have some great ideas on this podcast, as you probably know.
Yeah.
A delivery service specifically for that sort of stuff, and basically just strong as hell people delivering it. So all the people coming along, apart from me and James who are coming along on the loading crew, all those other people who are coming along, the massive people who are really strong, you could set up a business just delivering heavy stuff to people.
So I was about to say Dragon's Den, Shark Tank. I mean, with all these ideas, you're bound to get some kind of investment. I mean, one of them, if you fire them off quick enough, one of them's going to stick, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the whole throwing crap at the wall and hoping something sticks, isn't it? And you get told not to do that in
wasn't one about getting clients to punch meat? I mean,
there was something about that ages ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, Phil Maffetone said you were going to make millions on the app, so
yeah. Well, it's still in the pipeline. You never know.
I love it.
But yeah, so it would be good to know. I mean, people might know who these people are. People might not. But what was interesting, we've said this on previous episodes actually, was when you put in, so you set up the group chat and said to everyone, can you put your t-shirt size in? And it was like 4XL, 3XL, 4XL, double XL. And then me and James, medium, please.
So I think you put medium pour before.
Yeah. So you've got some. You've got like there's Matt Diamond who was at the. Me and James went to the UK's.
That's right. Yes, Matt's in it.
Yeah,
That's
strongest
my
man
head
event. So, and we had Becca Roberts on a couple of weeks ago as well,
Oh, yeah.
who won that. And she graciously came on here for us and everything, and she was amazing. But yeah, Matt Diamond was competing as well, and he was hilarious. So the interviews afterwards, he was so dry.
Yeah, he's very dry, isn't he? Yeah, very dry.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to meeting them. So you've got they're helping out, aren't they, on the loading crew? Rebecca isn't, but Matt is.
Yeah, and we got Nadine Guy as well, one of the strongest ladies in the country.
Yep. Is she? Who was it who did the paired deadlift? There was two. There was two ladies who got a world record in that when we were.
One of those ladies was Lucy Underdown, was it not?
No, it wasn't. Lucy Underdown got the individual.
Right,
record.
that's right. Oh, hang on.
300, and then there was two. One with short blonde hair. I can't remember the names. I should have looked this up, shouldn't I?
Sam Taylor.
Yes.
And there was no lady, but they were going to be on the loading crew, but unfortunately they've had to drop out. So.
Okay, because I recognised her. I looked her up and I recognised her from that, and I was like, she was one of the ladies who lifted the
Yeah, unfortunately they had to drop out, but we've managed to fill those spots, so we're not short. We're okay, so that's good.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
We wish them well, welcome them back in the future, no doubt.
And you've also got a very special guest coming along, haven't you? It's a very, very special guest judge.
Yeah, we got the 4 times world's strongest man, Magnus Magnuson.
Absolutely fantastic. I love that. I love that. Has he been to Chard before?
He's been to Chard a couple of times before, yes.
Oh, right. Nice one. Is it like...
also, we have Mr. Ryan England on the MC.
Wow. Excellent. Honestly, man, you're well connected, aren't you?
Yeah, but building relationships with people, isn't it? You know, and also not forgetting Martin Ty, who's former world's strongest disabled man, and Matt McLaren, who's also former world's strongest disabled man, in their classes respectively.
And they're competing, yeah?
No, they're not competing. They're going to be assistant referees.
Oh, okay. I thought I didn't see Martin's name on there actually. So yeah, because like I said, I said in the previous episode, I was at the what was it, the North Somerset show.
Oh, yes.
That show a few years ago when he did the world record for the seated deadlift.
Which is fine. Yeah, because I was there. It's a shame we didn't know each other then. I was definitely there because I was a side judge.
Yeah.
Along with Loz. Loz was there, wasn't
he? He was. And that was, what did he do? He did 501 or something, or 505?
501, yeah, just to sort of beat Eddie's by a kilo. Yeah. That's the idea, I think.
What's it now? Is it a 620 or something?
The world record in the seated class 1, we've got to make sure we have these classes right, because obviously there's different records of different classes, but the seated class 1 record is 646 kilos. That's by Dave Walsh.
That's outrageous, isn't it?
Just to reiterate for everyone, that's kilos, not pounds.
That's kilos, not pounds, and that's also lifting it without using your legs, basically.
Yeah, and I'm also very proud to say it was on one of my deadlift seats that I made.
Well, there you go. So they're up to that much. Do you know how far this can go, and do you know how far your seats can go?
I don't know. Time will tell, you know.
We'll find out.
Not something you want to go wrong, though, is it? Like
not really.
Kilos.
It's a pretty hefty weight, is that, you know?
Pretty hefty, isn't it? Yeah. It's like your seats go up to 647, but no more.
Yeah. I mean, all jokes aside, that's got to be the biggest weight ever lifted by anybody, surely.
Well, of course, yeah, it will be, yeah.
In any form or fashion.
Absolutely. Which is amazing.
Obviously, people have pulled trucks and whatnot. They weigh heavier, but in terms of actually being lifted off the floor.
Well, this is what I find interesting, because you like that's fine, and it's like, right, yeah, but the guy's sitting down, so it's like, right, get Eddie Hall or Thor or whoever, Thor when he was bigger, get them to sit down and do it and see if they can, and that would be interesting. You know,
well, I can tell you now, a few have been invited and they've kind of declined, I think.
Yeah, Yeah, fair enough.
They,
Well,
they don't like the movement.
but this is another thing that's really interesting about when because we had a chat about this because somebody posted something about my pressing style, which
Yeah.
Paul McElroy, my coach, has helped me with and all that. And it's actually got me stronger and feeling better and all that. And people were saying you're bending too much and you're going to hurt your spine.
Oh,
and all that.
you told me about that back along. Yes.
Yeah. And I, I facetiously said to you, imagine if someone said this to you, you know what I mean? Because obviously your form's different because, you've got CP, but this is what's interesting because it's what you train gets stronger. So the seated deadlift for the disabled guys gets stronger. But
Exactly.
let's say the able-bodied guys who are doing like standard deadlifts don't get stronger at the seated deadlift because they're not trained.
They won't. It's a different movement, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wonder if it has carry over both. What I mean, wonder if it would have carry over to the conventions. I don't know enough about it, but
yeah, it would definitely have carryover. It would definitely strengthen your lower back, and it's a good overall power exercise for our guys to do. You know.
Yeah. So what events have we got? Because I know there's obviously we've got different classes and different events within those classes, right? So
yeah,
tell us a little bit about those.
So for the seated guys, we've got sled pull. So that goes up to 400 kilos of sled. Then we've got the giant dumbbell, the axle press, the trap bar hold, which is a new one for Britons. We've never done that before, although it has been done in disabled strongman before. The yoke walk, so going up and down with yokes. And obviously the world famous Atlas stones at the end.
And is that going to be in your garden?
It could be. No, not quite. We've got a massive hall this year, so yeah.
Cool. And what are so that's the seated class.
Yeah.
So then what other classes are there?
So there's men's standing class 1 and 2, and they'll do the same events, all apart from the seated guys obviously don't do the yoke run.
Okay, yeah.
So they'll do the trap bar hold instead of the yoke run.
Yeah.
So that's basically how we're going to work it.
And is it the same events for men and women as well, or are there different?
No, it's the same events. Events.
How do you do seated sled pull? How does that work?
Yeah, we basically sit on the floor. We have because in the seated class we can't use leg drive. It's
right. So you're not on a wheelchair with wheels.
No. So we sit on the floor with our legs against the bottom of the yoke. We put a sandbag under our legs, so our legs are slightly bent, and then we put a sandbag over the legs, so then people can't use any kind of leg drive.
I see. Right. Okay. I see. Yeah.
Then so that's how we generally work that.
Yeah.
So we're doing those in pairs, so head to head.
Okay.
Because we have the space.
Fantastic.
I love it. So
where
where exactly is it in Chard? What's the name of the place?
It's Holyrood Academy. It's down in the bottom sports hall.
Okay.
Which is obviously a school, but they've been really accommodating in the past, and they've continued to do so this year, which is good.
So I mean, given the forces that are being generated, and given that part of anyone's kind of everything from injuries through to just being healthy, strength is generally a plus. It's rare that you find strength isn't going to add value in some way.
Strength is never a weakness. Weakness is never a strength, as Mark Bell says on the podcast. You know what I mean?
Well, that's it. I mean, do you have people? Because obviously some of the people who are in your event are quite seasoned. They've been training a while. But before they got into it, I mean, what has been their own journey? I mean, in terms of function? I mean, there's obviously the mindset thing. There's a sense of achievement, like in any sport. You become a beginner. You build your confidence. You discover things about yourself mentally. But I'm just wondering about the actual function and what has great crossover to increase function across the board. So is there any particular exercises that have the biggest crossover to just general well-being and increased function for any of the individuals within your sport?
I would say within strongman, and certainly within disabled strongman, it carries over. I mean, you look at your main power exercises. So if you're doing, for our guys, it would be anything shoulder related. So axial press, barbell press, seated deadlift. The main power exercises tend to cross over pretty well. I mean, the thing about disabled strongman is everyone's got their own unique story. I mean, everybody's different. That's what makes it unique. It's not
What
about
about yours, for example? Because I mean, obviously, when you got started, I mean, what's different about how you feel and what you're capable of versus when you started? I mean, what's been the kind of almost like the functional journey and the physical expression journey that you've been on?
Yeah, I mean, I started lifting weights when I was 16, and to be honest with you, Paul, it was the best thing I ever did. I said that to Pete in the past and James, you know, and I advocate it to anybody with a disability: do some kind of resistance training.
What was the impact? What was the biggest challenge that you was facing before you started your weight training? And what changed once you started doing it?
Just my confidence improved, my strength improved.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you carry yourself with more confidence. You don't, you know, you can do more things, and my functionality improved. And then obviously I went into sport, so I did disabled powerlifting to start with, and then moved on into that tended to be the natural progression. But I've always been into strongman since I was a young kid, you know.
And so have you, in a way, because I mean, obviously, you know, having no medical background in any way, particularly in these kind of classifications that you're working within, is there a normal trajectory that people will experience with many of the disabilities that is being completely negated by the fact that they are competing? You know, like, I mean, we always know that there's a decline in function as we age, for example, and there's a decline in function from lack of activity. You know, we've got plenty of clients who are, you know, able-bodied, who have hip replacements, things like that. But typically there is the normal trajectory that a person experiencing spinal problems or CP or something like that will experience. Are those trajectories being challenged and changed?
Absolutely, 100%. Every time we go out on the field, you know, because disabled strongman is not, it never has been a tokenism thing. It's all hard and heavy, like I said before, and be that way to have the impact that we want to generate for people to see that no matter if you've got a disability or an impairment, or you can do things, and if you can do disabled strongman, for example, you can pretty much accomplish anything. So people will come along and watch these guys and think, well, if they can do that, I can certainly, you know, make steps to get myself off the couch, be more active, that kind of thing, no matter what age you are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just hoping that has the same sort of awareness carryover.
Yeah.
I hope that makes trying to get the point I'm trying to get across.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I mean, I suppose there's things and conditions where there's a kind of neurological element, whereas if you're just constantly firing your neurons, you're constantly engaging the muscle fibers, then any decline in that can be negated or slowed down and things like that, which obviously means that function and longevity is vastly improved.
Absolutely. I mean, cerebral palsy, I can certainly negate for myself. I can speak for myself here. It's a neurological disorder, obviously. So I've found that if I keep my weight training up, I increase my functionality well. I'm 46 now. I don't feel any less mobile than I was before. Hopefully that'll carry on for a lot of years yet. I mean, I'm never going to stop training. I'm always going to be lifting. It's kind of ingrained in me. And like I said before, it's the best thing I ever did.
Without doubt.
I'm just trying to think of how it works, like with degenerative stuff, because everyone's degenerative, right? We all decline.
Yes.
We spoke about this before, about it's the level of decline from, it's not the speed of it, it's the level you decline from. So, you know, for me in my 20s, I would have been about here. You know, and if I hadn't have done anything, I'd be lower than where I am now. And so I'd be declining from a down here. Now
you can slow a decline down by weight training, absolutely.
Yeah, but what I mean is, so if someone's got something that's degenerative, a degenerative disability, about, like, does it help that? Does it help slow the decline in that? You know what I mean? Depending on what it is, because obviously there's so many different things about this. Is the problem, isn't it? And people might look at something and go, but you've got something different, a different condition than I've got, so therefore you can put that back on. It's like, well, there's always going to be a way in my head.
That's interesting, because obviously I'm not a doctor. I don't proclaim to be anything like that, but I would have thought as long as the muscle responds, it would slow that degeneration down. I would think, as an educated guess, having a sports background, but like I said, I don't claim to be a doctor or anything like that. So, and every individual's different, aren't they?
Well, this is the thing, and this is where I think sometimes it can hurt. I mean, how do I put this? Yeah, sometimes it can hold people back because every individual is different. So someone might look and say, well, my condition is different to yours because of this or whatever. And it's like, well, that may be true, but there will be something that we can probably do. There'll be something. So we just have to find out what that is and then go from there, you know? So.
And the thing is, with the medical profession, they always go on the worst possible scenario of the person. So if they make inroads, then all to the good, you know, but they'll always give you the worst possible scenario that covers themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we've spoken about that in the past, because like people think that then the diagnosis, that's it, that's what I am, so I'm going to be that for the rest of my life. And it's like, well, again, so we had Brooks Cubic on a while ago. I can't remember what episode that was.
What a legend Brooks is.
Your mate Brooks, you and him have been chatting on. I've seen that. He's commenting on your stuff now. But he was saying he had asthma when he was like 9 years old or something, and he was told he couldn't do anything. So he hid it from his parents and went off and started. He'd get around the end of the hedge and then run to school.
Absolutely.
And then he beat that basically. Yeah.
Didn't Jack LaLanne have a similar thing? I think it's Jack LaLanne. He's certainly one of those old time guys. Where he was told he had asthma and he was a frail kid or whatever, and he ended up pulling boats, didn't he? For 5 miles.
I remember him.
Yeah, I remember seeing a picture of him from was it like the 50s or something?
Yeah.
It was like nobody looked like that.
I know a lot of these guys ahead of their time, weren't they?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because we have a different spec. I mean, the thing is, in a way, there's so many more types of bodies that you see now. So it's weird because in the past, you'd only really be familiar with what you would see in a magazine. So that was down to the magazines you bought or the newspapers, or you would be familiar with those around you. As a child, you'd be familiar with your parents' bodies and your immediate peer groups' bodies, and that would be your frame of reference. And that has its positives, because actually what you didn't see was ridiculous versions either unattainable or just in a way, I expect body dysmorphia was much lower, whereas now we have the ability to see people all kinds of, not only races, genders, you name it. There's so much variety, but at the other end of the spectrum is we see these extreme examples of people as well. So it's, Jack LaLanne very much grew up probably in that small kind of sense of like, these are the people around me, and I want to be the same as those people. I don't want to be seen as this, I don't want to be labeled this. Whereas now, if you want to find a label, you can probably find a label because there's such a variety of body types, opinions, and things like that. So
I think in my head from that, his was because he had his own TV show and everything, didn't he? Before the thing, he wore his blue jumpsuit and did silly things on telly. I say silly, like impressive things on telly that nobody can do. Yeah. But he wasn't like a massive bloke as well. He was just ripped and strong and healthy. Yeah. But he didn't drink, he didn't smoke, he didn't order dessert ever and things like that. So it was quite extreme. However, it wasn't extreme to the point of, as far as I know, of like, taking performance enhancing drugs and all that sort of stuff.
I suppose you had to be, you were judged on your feats of strength, whereas now you're judged on your Instagram.
Well, this is the thing. That's what I was saying. So his influence, you could say he was an influencer of the time. He was on the telly. He was using that medium to get across. But his influence was, if you live this sort of way, you get this sort of thing. Whereas now it's like, look at me, and that's it, isn't it? Kind of, there's a lot of that about.
Back in those days, they just got on with it, didn't they? They just worked and got on with it.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose that's the great thing about your event, is it's just people getting on with it and doing extraordinary things.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
no one's following them with a camera everywhere and their workouts. They don't have to post every single gym workout. They just
No.
get something heavy, pick it up, and defy anyone's expectations. And they do it probably because they just fancy it, not because there's some kind of societal pressure or anything, or they're just like,
No,
"Hey, just pick
first
something
and
up."
foremost, we do it because we enjoy doing it. We enjoy being competitive.
Mm.
And we enjoy saying to people that it doesn't matter what impairment you've got, you can achieve things, and hopefully that goes on to wider society.
Yeah. So presumably everyone who's competing has like day jobs and what have you. So they do this in their kind of spare time.
Yeah, there's no full-time disabled strongman.
Yeah.
Now, for example, I'm a support worker of people with learning difficulties.
Yeah.
So I do that between 40 and 50 hours a week, and then I come back and fabricate and train and be a disabled strongman.
All right.
Like a
There's no point
superhero, really,
talking
aren't you?
about what's on telly then, because you won't be watching.
I haven't watched telly for 3 years.
Yeah.
Not since the first lockdown. It's all been YouTube and fabrication channel.
Excellent. What were you going to say, Paul? Sorry.
I was about to say it's like Fred Dibner or something, aren't you?
Yeah.
You just got a steam engine in the back and a load of, you know.
Yeah, what a legend he was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, it's pretty cool. Have you seen him climbing up one of those big? I think he was in Bradford or I know he was in Bradford or Rotherham or something like that. He was climbing up one of those massive chimneys to basically take it down. He was either restoring it or take it down from the top downwards. I can't remember what he was doing, but he was doing something. He's just climbing right up it, you know.
Put the charges in, and then come back down and press the button.
Yeah, I think for our American listeners, if you don't know who we're talking about, we're talking about Fred Dibner, just a kind of a very, very well-known British personality. He's passed away now, but he was known for his expertise in all things basically fabrication, steel, steam engines, stuff like that. But he used to be a brickie as well, I think.
Yeah, he was an absolute legend, wasn't he? Absolute
you definitely watch his YouTube videos if you want insight into the north of England.
Yeah,
into the north of England.
Well, he had a very strong Lancashire accent, didn't he?
He did, yeah. But also, yeah, I mean, obviously, he's inspired Gary to go and make seated benches and all. What other stuff do you make? So you make the seated benches for the deadlift.
yeah.
Do they have to be a certain specification?
Yes, the 18 inches high and 15 inches square on the top, and then 19 inches of the bottom runs. So yeah, so basically 18 inches high.
Okay, and then you make. So you said you've got some molds for Atlas stones. What other stuff do you make?
I've made deadlift jacks. I've made axle stands. Sorry, I'm trying to think of the name now. Just basically normal pressing stands, either side, separate ones, squat stands.
Yeah. So are these
Right.
is there? I mean, presumably for like some of that sort of stuff, you can use what everyone else uses, like normal gym stuff. But obviously, the seats are different for the seated deadlift and things like that. Because you used to just use benches, didn't you?
Yeah, well, you don't really need a whole bench. So why not make a seat? And I made one, and it's gone from there. I must have made almost 50 now. Well, even one of them's gone to America, so they're getting a bit.
That's great. So does that mean there's no there's no company, like one company that makes specific stuff for this? Do you just have to like make do with what's available, or make it yourself?
Absolutely right. Make it yourself.
Wow. So there you go. Another $1 million pound idea.
Let's invest in the business.
Well, no, because obviously Gary, you know, we're trying to help do this as well, and Gary's trying to do this just to promote this event and promote the sport and get it more into the kind of mainstream in with the other stuff, with the world's strongest man. And
it needs to be like the Arnold or something like that. Just because there's loads of things.
Yeah, we have been at the Arnold's. We've been in the Arnold's in America, and we've been.
Oh, you have, right?
UK, yeah. Martin, Ty, and Becky have sorted that out for us, so that's good. So basically, what happens now is Martin organises the qualifiers for the Britons, and the Britons will be a qualifier for the Magnus Adaptive Worlds.
And where's that going to be?
That's in Florida this year, but it'll be a qualifier next year because the Worlds this year, because it's the first time Magnus has done the Adapted Worlds. It's an open, so I'm actually in that as well in Florida in September.
Wow.
And then I've got the Static Monsters qualifier in October.
Oh, you're bloody hell. While building all this stuff and working 50 hours a week and all of
Yeah,
that.
I'm pretty busy, but that's how I like it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. That's fantastic. Honestly, that's amazing. It's making me feel a little bit inadequate, if I'm honest.
Yeah, put your feet. Come on. I,
Yeah. Wow.
I'll take you on part-time at Fabrication Corner here.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Honestly, this is like I can't. I seriously. I've been telling everybody about this. You know, all the guys who are trained, I've been talking to them about it because we all live like an hour and a half away or an hour away, however far.
Free entry, get them down, get them in the hall.
Well, that's what I've been telling them. It's a free event, so even if actually, if anyone's listening, some of course people are listening, but for the people who are listening who want to get involved, it's in 2 weeks in podcast land. It's on August. It's August the 26th and 27th. Is that right?
That's correct, sir. Yes.
That's right. And it's what time does it start in the morning?
It'll start at 10 o'clock and finish around 3-4ish.
10 a.m. finish at 3 to 4, depending on depending on how quick the loading crew are in getting stuff on, because they've got two little fellas on it who might take.
Yeah,
in their medium t-shirts. So you have a small, wear a nice tight one.
Yeah,
that's right.
So, and it's at Holyrood.
Holyrood Academy, yes.
Holyrood Academy, the 26th and 27th of August, in Chard in Somerset. I mean, honestly, if you're near there, or even if you're not, get yourself down there, because it's going to be amazing.
I mean, I can't describe it to you. It really is something to see. I mean, I know I might be biased towards the athletes, but I love them to bits, and it's a pleasure to put a platform out for them. But it really is something to see. I mean, it's a spectacular to see these guys perform. You know.
Yeah. So how many people are you expecting to come along, do you think?
In terms of spectators?
Yeah.
You never quite know, but I know I've got 19 athletes.
Right. Excellent. That honestly, I can't wait for it. I'm so my Mrs. Sean's really excited about it as well. she's been going on about it for months. Like, when is it? Yeah. So that'll be cool. Yeah. So if people want to, I mean, people can just come along. It's a free event, right?
Hey, just come along, yeah.
Yeah. So they can just turn up. Excellent. We'll love that. We should probably wrap up there, I think, because you've got to go to work as well, haven't you?
I have, mate. Yes.
We don't want to keep you, but no, that is perfect. So yeah, anyone who, I mean, what happens if someone wants to get involved in this, but they don't know where to start, or somebody's got like kids who might want to get involved in this and they don't know where to start? How can
they're very welcome to contact me. They can contact Martin, Ty, organisers the qualifiers at GB Strongman there. So we're all working together. They can contact Magnus. There's plenty of us around, or any one of the athletes. You know, there's lots of us around now. They point them in the right direction. You know, we're always keen to have new people on board.
Excellent. So if anyone's feeling a bit shy or whatever, or should, like, who do I speak to? Should I just reach out? They can reach out to pretty much anyone involved. If they just Google them and find them, they can ask them.
Pretty much, yeah.
Excellent. That is great. You've also got a sponsor as well. I was going to say that. Who's that again?
United Response. So basically, that's the company that I work for.
All right.
So we provide support for people with learning difficulties and physical impairments. So I'm a support worker working for them, and they very kindly sponsored being a championship sponsor again this year, as they were last year. So
excellent. And where are they based?
They're nationwide. So
okay.
their head office is in Wimbledon, I believe.
All right, because I saw that they were the sponsor, so I started following them on Facebook. But I didn't know that was who you worked for. So that's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, they've really backed me. So a big thank you to them and all the sponsors. You know, there's been local sponsors that have backed me again this year. So we're all working together for the good of the cause.
Excellent. Absolutely love that. Well, thanks for coming on, Gary. Honestly,
my pleasure, and thank you for having me, gentlemen. I really appreciate it, Pete and Paul.
Hey, no problem. Have you got any last requests, last thoughts, Paul?
No, well, it's just goes without saying, wish you luck there. I can't make it, but it's going to be exciting, I think. And just a quick update for everyone. I know everyone's pretty excited about this, but I just got a text message pop up on my laptop saying the cats are here.
Oh, you're looking happy.
Right.
What are the called?
Anyway, yeah, I don't know. There's a white one and a black one.
Okay. Yin and yang.
Yeah, yin and yang. That's good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thanks for that. So Paul's got cats, so we'll be hearing them in the background on
Chewing the internet cables.
And Gary, thank you for coming along.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're actually, we never said this, you're competing as well, right? Obviously.
I'm planning to, yes. Planning to.
Excellent. Excellent. Can't wait for it. Honestly, I'm so excited. So, yes, Gary, thanks for coming on. And to all you guys listening, thank you very much for listening. Please like, please share, send this to your friends. If you want to join the Facebook group, it's just look up Health Oddity on Facebook and you can find us there and we'll let you in. Please leave a review if you're listening on a platform where you can leave a review, and tell all of your friends about this event in Chard in 2 weeks' time, 26th and 27th of August. And if you come along, we'll see you there. Me and James will be there, Gary will be there, and everyone else who we've mentioned. So thank you for listening, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.